Hey everyone! Today our group is going to talk about the culture diversity, and our main focus will be the culture difference between China and America. So first, it is about the reason why we choose this topic. Every year, lots of international students come to America seek for better and higher educational quality in here. Among international students, Chinese student is a big proportion. It is a challenge and object for Chinese students to succeed in getting used to the new environment. Furthermore, as the increasing number of Chinese people in America, more and more American students start interest in Chinese culture. Therefore, our group decided to put our attention to the culture diversity between China and America, both for Chinese students to better live in here and for American teenagers who are interested in the different kind of culture. So here we go. The first part we are going to introduce is about the lifestyles, and we divide the lifestyle into two parts. And first, we are going to talk about the communications. China has a distinct dialogue cultures. Those who have Mandarin, different areas in China still have different dialect, and huge difference exists among them. Encompassing 56 ethnic groups, mainland China has more than 80 dialects still in use today. These sub-languages are not interchangeable or mutually intelligible to verified degree with one another. Therefore, comparing with China, which have several different kinds of dialect, American people all speak the same language, maybe with different accents, but still no huge difference among them. In order to describe the difference between communication of America and China more clearly, we have a video in here to show you.
孬仔面，
吃了吗您？干啥呢？
So if I'm going to get in my car, that's Cleveland. If I was from Boston, these are going to be terrible. I might get in the car, and they don't really use the R. People in the South kind of say get in the car, kind of draw it all out. Valley girls in the West, it's get in the car. It's like really trying not to swear here.
The second part of the living style, we choose academic study as our discussion. And one of the most important difference of Chinese educational system and American educational system is about how their students take course. Traditional educational system in China require their students to stay in the same classroom for every course and study with the same group of classmates. However, American educational system let a student to go to different rooms for different courses. Since the student in China always stay in the same place, the school will offer the students a set of table and the chairs, and there is a drawer inside of the desk. It is very convenient for Chinese students to store their personal stuff inside of the desk because they don't need to take it to different place. However, in American, because students need to go to different classroom every day, the school often offers the students with the chair and a writing board. Therefore, the student cannot store their personal stuff inside the chairs. However, the school will give them a locker so they can store their personal stuff inside of the locker. The second difference about academic study between China and America is about freedom of academic study. A mother writes a story about her son's school bag. She said her son had a huge school bag with heavy weight since the first grade in China, and she changed the school bag for her son for 3 times. Each time, the school bag will be larger and heavier than before. Actually, comparing with American students, Chinese students who are under high pressure always have lots of stuff need to carry, including the extra material of courses and homework. Most of Chinese students still need to do the homework in the paper way, unlike Americans who prefer to use computer for most of their homework. Therefore, Chinese students' school bag is much more heavier than Americans. The second difference about academic freedom is that in American school, you can choose what kind of courses you want to take. However, in China, every student was required to take the same course, so you cannot choose what kind of courses you want to learn in Chinese educational system. The second aspect we want to talk about is food. China used to be a country focused on agriculture. Until now, there is still a big proportion of population make the living based on cultivating. Therefore, the most important food resource is crops, especially rice and wheat. People in southern China treat rice as the basic need. Though rice has the plain flavor, it's still a good resource to gain the nutrition served for the human body. Northern China make wheat into wheat flour and use the flour make the food like noodle, dumpling, or steamed bread. In America, we notice that vegetable and meat, especially beef and chicken, becomes the most popular food in here. In addition, the number of vegetarians is also larger than that in China. Therefore, bean and vegetable becomes the indispensable food in here. The second part of food, we are going to talk about the tool. Chinese people have our own traditional tool of eating, chopsticks. It was consists of two sticks, usually made from wood, metal, or even silver. The history of Chinese chopsticks is more than thousands of years. Comparing with China, American people use forks and knives more often. However, during the conversation with several American people, we knew that since the popularity of Chinese food kept increasing, more and more people in here start to learn how to use chopsticks, especially the people in our generation. Most of them know how to use the chopsticks. The most uncomfortable thing in America for Chinese students is to eat the food which is cooked in American way. The flavor of food is highly depends on the way of cooking. Americans usually process the food in the way like frying, boiling, baking, and braising. The food made in this process can keep more of the original taste of food. However, in China, you have more choice about the processing way, including frying, boiling, and braising. Here we list some Chinese characters, and each character is a unique way of cooking that we cannot describe in American. Since Chinese people are highly focusing on the food we have, the flavor of food is changeable but with the traditional Chinese taste. In the last part of our discussion, we are going to talk about religions. In 21st century, most of Chinese people have no religious belief. They choose to be the atheists. However, some minority in China have their special beliefs. For example, the Hui people in China believe in Islam and belongs to Sunni, which is a branch of Islam. There are three culture beliefs in China dominate the doctrines of people's life in China for more than thousands of years. They are Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism. They are not religious beliefs, but people who engage into one of them hold the principle from it and make their life follow the directions of it. The origin of Buddhism is not in China. Buddhism entered China in the end of Han Dynasty and gradually became an important idea in China, especially in Tang Dynasty. The Buddhism in China is different from the original Buddhism. It was influenced by some of Chinese culture. The Buddhism required people to give the extra wishes up and focus on the meaning of afterlife. Buddhism believes in the karma that your present behavior will affect your fate in future. Also, the thing you do in your living time will affect your afterlife. Therefore, people need to be kind in order to have a better afterlife. Taoism is a religious, philosophical, and ritual tradition of Chinese origin, which emphasizes living in harmony with the Tao. Tao emphasizes the harmony not only among humans, but also between human and nature. It requires people to always be peaceful and calm. In the idea of Tao, everything exists because it has the opposite. For example, if you think someone is beautiful, it's because you have seen someone is less beautiful than that person. Without a comparison, you cannot get an idea like that. Everything has the opposite side does not equal to the competition between these two sides. Tao thinks that everything has the opposite way because it is balance of nature. This traditional philosophy is still very important for Chinese people now in order to deal with the complicated problem in our life. Confucianism, also known as Buddhism, is described as a tradition, a philosophy, and a religion. It is a humanistic or rationalistic religion. Confucianism contributed a lot to the domination of different dynasties in ancient China. The reason it is highly focused on the difference of social status emphasizing that the society have to be operated by some kind of order. For example, officers in the feudal time have to obey the emperor. Some have to follow their fathers. It also has an important idea which is still significant for Chinese people now. That is 君子. The idea of 君子 can refer to the idea of gentleman in English, but still have some kind of difference. In Confucianism, 君子 have to be a gentleman, but in addition, they have to have the virtue like loving their countries, has the ability to identify the wrong and the right. A 君子 also have to be loyal, obedient, and knowledgeable. For American people, religion is one of the most essential parts of their daily life. Therefore, the topic about the freedom of religion is highly controversial in American people's daily life. During the presidential election, we noticed that people really care about how the candidate will going to deal with the balance among different kinds of religions. The religious belief of American people sometimes not only decide what kind of religious activity they may attend, but how they eat and wear in the daily life. Religious belief can have the dominating position of the people's life and become the authority guide of their lives. The diversity of religion in America is also widespread. The religious belief in here contain the religion like Catholic, Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism, and Hinduism. People engage into the religion will attend activity regularly. For example, people who believe in the Christianity may go to the church every weekend. At last, though China and America have so many differences, the life for international students are still go on. Our group hopes that all Chinese students can find the life which are the best for themselves in American and do their best in the college life. Also, the video only shows the surface of Chinese culture. So if you are interested in Chinese culture, we would like to introduce you more about this amazing country where we come from. Finally, best wishes for our dear audience. Hope the luck can always be with you.